Too fun. Hi, parents that are on. I'm Latrice McGlothin. I may have met you in some of my venturings over to the Wooten Center, but I am your rep from Kinecta Federal Credit Union and have the pleasure of being able to share some thoughts about budgeting tonight. So if there's any things that you're thinking about or questions, the chat will be open, and I'm excited to talk with you guys tonight.
Thank you for having me. I'm Regina Christine Creighton. I'm a parent here. This is my first year with the Wooten Center, and we've had such a great experience. And today they had online basketball. I thought that was amazing for my 12-year-old son, almost 13, and I'm excited.
Did he like it?
He did like it. He was a little late. Him and Daddy tried to pick up his computer. It wasn't ready, but he got in before it was over. And he did enjoy it, and I was listening. I was like, "Ooh, I might have to go out there and try to hoop it up or something." But thank you guys for having me so much. I appreciate it.
Yeah, we're glad to have you, Gina. You've been a great as a parent volunteer, so you're wonderful. Thank you.
Thank you.
All righty, who else do we have on? We're just having some
Hello,
introductions.
everyone. I'm Ketty.
Hi, Ketty. Oh, we got some technology issues. Your voice is going in and out.
Yes. Okay. So I'm not sure what that's about.
That's better. That's better.
Okay, so I'm Ketty Chiofasa, and my family has been a part of the Wooten Center family for about 3 years, I think, maybe 4. Kai is about to be a junior. And we love the Al Wooten Junior Center. Aside from dance and education with regard to the center, my daughter taught the, what was it? The dance fusion class today that looked so fun.
Mm-hmm. Latin and African dance.
Ooh.
Latin and African dance, beautiful. Mm-hmm. She got it from her mama.
There you go.
Yes, she did. Yes, she did.
And happy Father's Day.
Thank you, Ketty. Another awesome Wooten parent, always volunteering and helping out. So thank you.
Hello, my name is Taisha Jackson Wise. On the screen it says Barry Willis because between my son and I, we have Zoom calls, I feel like every day. So I was, instead of calling him to say, "Hey bud, how do I change my name on here?" I'll just tell you, I'm Taisha, and this was our first day with the basketball camp as well, and my first time participating with the Wooten Center.
Awesome.
I changed your name for you, Taisha. I don't know if I spelled it right.
With a Y.
Okay, I got
you.
Awesome. Well, welcome, Taisha. How was the basketball camp? And
my son enjoyed it.
And what is his name?
Barry Willis.
That's Barry. Okay, gotcha. Okay. All right. Well, we're glad he enjoyed it. So welcome to the family. Glad you're here.
Thank you.
All right. Who else do we have with us? Another parent?
Hi, my name is Tracy Thomas. I'm the parent for Dyrone Thomas II. This is my first time with the Wooten Center. I also had the experience of watching him with the basketball camp today. Very excited. It seemed very exciting. He really liked it. It was very challenging for him to learn something new, but I told him, you know, we're all new to this experience. And so just enjoy it because we never know what it'll bring.
That's right. You know, and the more you do it, the more you, the better you get. So.
Absolutely. And I just want to thank you all for offering this class. It seems like it's going to be really interesting. So I look forward to the information.
Good. Welcome. Glad to have you. Glad to have you.
Thank you.
And we have our next parent. Looks like Elise.
Hi. Yeah. actually not a parent, don't have the blessing of children yet, but maybe one
Okay.
soon. I was introduced to this by Latrice. I'm really excited
Okay.
about
Got
creating
you.
a budget and more about the Wooten Center as well. So thank you for having me.
Yeah, well, thanks for
Hi,
coming.
Lise.
It's definitely a universal title, you know, for everybody, but we kind of wanted to, you know, have a kind of parent powwow too, so, but everybody is welcome. So thanks for joining us. Any more parents? All right, so I know some will be joining us. Miss Christelle is out there giving out logins right now, but we are going to get started. So for those who don't know me, the new parents, my name is Naomi, last name McSwain. So you may see my name around every now and then, but I'm the executive director here. Al Wooten is my cousin. So I was part of starting the center back in 1990. So this year we're 30 years, and we had no idea we would be around this long, but you know, but we're here and glad. You know, it's, you know, it makes my day every time I see the kids. You know, it's the success stories that we see all the time, and so so everything has always been, you know, we always say youth and families because everything we do is for youth and families. But most recently with the COVID, this is how this parent power group came about, because we saw the challenges parents were having, you know, with, like you say, the login situation. Also, now you're helping the kids more often with the homework. And then you've got Google Classroom, and you've got Class Dojo, and you've got, you know, Basecamp is another one. You know, when I found out how many platforms were out there, I said, wouldn't it be great if there was one platform? But then you have to end up, in some cases, learning multiple platforms. So, you know, COVID brought, you know, not just, you know, the deaf is bad. That's the worst part of it, but there's a whole nother thing that's happening here. And so this was our attempt, you know, even topic for jobs is to look at, we did a parent survey and we said, what are some of the things that you would like for us to cover? So all the topics that we're covering actually came out of that survey. There was even parents who said, I don't know the new math. So we're gonna have a class on the new math. You know, we're gonna have one on English language arts. And the last one is on tips, you know, for helping your child go to college, because we got the fall semester coming up. So that's especially important, you know, for seniors and juniors. So anyway, but we wanted to kick it off with this one. And this one is budgeting and creating income now. And we added the now on there because that's what we're talking about. You know, this is something we wanted to give information that's something that can be used right now. You know, we're all having to tighten up our budget. At the Wooten Center, we lost like over about $100,000, like within about a month. Money that was supposed to come in did not come, and I got emails that it wasn't coming. So we had to lay off 5 people, you know, in the first month. And so we had to tighten our budget, and I was the one that did that. So I got to thinking, you know, it's not just, you know, we're not the only one that are having to you know, rework our budget and look at other ways of making money. And, you know, I know our parents are experiencing that too. So that was kind of the impetus, part of the impetus for this. The other thing was in just talking to Latrice, and Latrice, she does a number of trainings already. And I had attended one with her before, and it was very good. And so I said, can you do it with our parents? And so here we are. Latrice has actually been involved at the center almost from the beginning. So almost, I would say over 20 years. Is that right? Not just through
right.
Kinecta, but also through the other bank. What was the other bank?
Hawthorne Savings and Commercial Capital Bank.
That's right. So she's been involved and always, you know, helping us out in different ways, not just financially, but as you see, this is not her first training that she's done with us. So she's definitely got a heart for the center and for our kids and our family. So I'm going to read her bio real quick, and just a quick recap on the agenda. So we, like we said, we're talking about budgeting, we're talking about generating income. We have 2 lovely, beautiful parents who are here with us today, and that's Regina Creighton and Ketty. And Ketty, my tongue always gets tied. I'm sorry, every time. Siofasa?
It's a Teofasa, yes.
Teofasa, okay. So Ketty Siofasa, and they're both parents. And Ketty also sometimes teaches our dance class. And Gina is always giving us good food. And she's going to talk about her catering business. And Ketty is going to talk about Mary Kay and maybe one other thing. So they're going to share their parents who are definitely generating some income in different kinds of ways. And they're going to share. But it's going to start off with Latrice. And I'm going to read her bio, and then I'm going to turn it over. And Latrice will be guiding us through the rest of the meeting. All right. So welcome. Thank you guys for coming. I'm going to stay in too because I got issues and I need to know how to stop spending so much money. All right. So with more than 25 years of, yeah, I spent $43 on hamburger and fries yesterday.
Yeah,
That wasn't good, was it?
it happens.
I bought hamburgers, tacos, and fries. It was $43.
Bacon.
But see, if I had my budget together, you know what I'm saying? So I'm not just here, I'm here because I need to be here, okay? So anyway.
Excellent.
With more than 25 years of community engagement, Latrice McGlothin has partnered with and supported hundreds of organizations throughout Northern and Southern California, including the Children's Miracle Network Hospitals, Atwood Jr. Youth Center, Richstone Family Center, Volunteer Center of South Bay, Friendship Foundation, and the Estelle Van Meter Senior Center. From creating educational programs to spearheading numerous fundraisers, she's passionate about empowering youth, serving the aging population, and providing resources for unserved communities. She currently sits on the board of directors for the Torrance Area Chamber of Commerce, Kinecta Community Foundation, and the Manhattan Beach Chamber of Commerce. So I'm going to ask us to give it up with a clap, clap for Miss Latrice.
Thank you.
Thank you for being here. Thank you for being here.
No, it is my pleasure. Thank you so much for having me. The Wooten Center is, as Ms. Naomi shared, is near and dear to my heart. I was introduced to the center quite a while ago, but really appreciate the vision and the mission that you have to really helping families in the community, Naomi. So hats off, and I'm excited to be here. I'm excited to talk about budgeting because I tore up my budget for a good long time. And so now that I have got some tools and some resources and have been able to, hi Randy, and have been able to fix my budget, it is now my honor to be able to match up with people in a group like this or individually and talk about budgeting. I'm trying to take the fear out of budgeting, trying to help folks to figure out and give themselves some grace when they've tried and it hasn't worked, and then give some tools and give that extra push in times where you feel like, man, I've tried this so many times and I keep falling down, I keep making mistakes, so that we can really create a budget that is sustainable for you, that you can change from time to time as events change. And this is a crucial time to really talk about budgeting. And so I want us to, this to be interactive. I know as you guys have come in, we put folks on mute, but please use your chat, because as things come up where we have questions or even things that we should celebrate or other things to think about, I'd love to hear and to see some collaborative thoughts that are out there. And so we're gonna jump in. Some of the pages I'll read directly, and then others I might jump off of them to just have the conversation, because this is really our time together. This is our time to really explore, to be able to talk about, and to be a safe place, because everyone's relationship with money is really quite different. And so you may have grown up with a family that was like, all right, let's sit down. This is what we're going to do as a family. We're able to afford this and not this. Or you may have grown up and the family was like, don't come in here ask me for nothing, because we ain't buying you nothing besides what you need for school. And I don't want to hear about it because I got to pay these bills. And so you may be on either side or somewhere in the middle, but everybody's relationship with money is very quite different. And so tonight we're going to honor whatever your relationship with money might be and help you to be able to work together in your relationship with the money to make it stronger, wherever it is. Mm-hmm. So just to jump in, I want to see in the chat folks that have, what does your budget look like right now, if you're willing to share? Do you have one? Do you need to have one? Do you hate the budget that you have? Did your budget just get turned upside down? Share in the chat what you might, what that might look like, and then we can see. Rebecca will be able to. Rebecca, thank you so much. She'll be watching the chat for us tonight. And so if there's questions that pop up that I don't get a chance to see because I'm looking at my screen, then we'll get a chance to actually see those and touch base on those. So I'm not seeing my chat come up. So Rebecca, can you share anything that you're seeing there? I had the chat.
I'm not seeing anything yet, but can I contribute as well? Even though I'm an intern, I feel like I could gain some value from this conversation.
Excellent.
I find sometimes that I'm really good on my budget, and then I go south real fast, and it's hard to get back in there. So consistency for me is difficult.
Excellent. I love that. Okay, now I'm seeing messages come in. Excellent. Okay, and if you would take a look at the chat, there's also information about the three of us ladies that are sharing this evening too. If you don't happen to catch something, it's there in the chat. And then I'm saying, okay, tightening up on budget. That is one we hear very often. So we are not alone in that. So let's just jump in. So creating a budget, it can be very exciting for you, or it could be like, but just some things to think about. If you run out of money before the end of the month, you should think about a budget. Or determining your monthly income and your expenses to create the budget that you like so that you can move forward, not wondering where your money has gone. And so why, Latrice, why should I have a budget? Good thing that you asked, I'll let you know. So really a budget can reveal where you are wasting your money. It will give you some direction and what it is you're looking to do. So if you're a big picture person, and some things that budget and money will reveal is the true heart. What do you really value? Like usually if we were in person, I would have had us do an icebreaker and we would have talked about needs versus wants. And everyone would have had the opportunity to literally walk to this side of the room or that side of the room if you feel like something is a need for you or something is a want for you. So it gives you some good direction on what it is that you're looking to do. Okay, education. It teaches you how to use the tools that you have, and in some cases, you might even pick up other tools like an app that might work for you, or just thinking about what's the best way I like to deal with money. Like for me, the thing I've learned about for me is I don't carry cash on purpose, because if I carry cash, I'm gonna spend it. But if I have to swipe something or sign my name to it, I'm more apt to take a look at it. And so that's just something I know about myself and money. Creating a new habit. Like Miss Naomi was sharing, she spent $40-something on tacos and burgers and fries, and she did not want to do that. She did not say that with an excited expression. And so you think, okay, if you decide, okay, we're going to use the envelope method. So everything that we spend, we're going to bring the cash in, we're going to put it in its envelope, and then when it's time for a date night, I'm going to pick up the envelope, or my husband will pick up the envelope and say, we've got X amount of money that we are going to spend. And so that's one habit that we use. It reduces stress, my goodness, right? Especially now, and my hat is off, and I applaud all of you guys for the homeschooling that you're doing and learning the new math and trying to juggle your children, their computer time, your computer time, who's on Zoom, who has to check in. If you add your budget on top of that and not having the monies that you're hoping to have, the amount of stress that that creates can really be a bit too much. And so before we leave this, I wanted to go back one. Anybody want to share in the chat a habit that you have that you use for your budget? Anything that's helped you to be successful in your budgeting? Anybody want to share some pieces? Add those into the chat. Because that's what really, this evening, we want to make sure that this is a resource. for us, a resource that you can walk away with, at least with one thing. Okay, Latrice, I am walking away with one thing that I'm going to do with my budgeting. And so having that in the chat can really help us to share with one another and to pick up on places, what we can do next. All right.
Miss Latrice,
Hi.
some of the comments that I think are good for sharing is dropping coins at the end of the week into a travel bank, using the envelope method that you suggest as well.
Yeah. Excellent.
And writing everything in one book instead of on slips of paper.
Oh, that's a good one.
So you have all the expenses and deadlines in there. Excellent.
That is definitely a tool that I would highly recommend. So if you don't have a budget and you are looking to create a budget, that's one of the quickest ways that you can figure out where your money is going. So if you were to take a blank envelope or maybe a manila envelope, anything you spend money on, throw it in that envelope for a good week, 2 weeks. Then take one sheet of paper like that was suggested, or if say Excel works better for you. Whatever you'd like, jot all of that down and then categorize it. Is it fast food? Is it a utility? Is it your rent? Is it time out with the kids? Is it, y'all stress me out so I had to go to Starbucks? Whatever it might be, and then this page is exactly where that will help you to figure out, is it a need for you or is it a want? But only you can say what that is for you. So like for me, getting my hair done is a need. I'm sorry, ask my husband. Getting my hair done is a need. Some people will be like, it's a want, you don't have to do that. Listen, for me and what I value, I will take my lunch every day. I'm not a nail person anyway, so I don't have that expense. I'm not a makeup girl, I don't have that expense. My hair is a need for me. And so for you, you've got to know what that is. What do you value and what do you really need? What's a necessity for your basic living? And then know how much that costs and know what that looks like. So now we've been in this whole COVID-19 situation. Some of these might switch for you guys. So maybe if every day for lunch, you were going out for lunch, now you've been home. So have your budget may shift a little bit. Or for me, I have an hour ride to work to and from, even though it's only 17 miles in Manhattan Beach. Okay, hello, LA traffic. But we have saved money on the gas. And so I asked my husband, hey, how much money do we spend? Because my husband, I am spoiled. My husband of Larry for nearly 17 years, who's watching this cast with us. Hi, honey. So he puts gas in our car. And so how much do we spend on that? So have we shifted our monies this way or that way, depending on your needs versus your wants? And honestly, when you're taking a look at your budget, you need to take a look at those. And honestly, your luxuries are going to be the first, I'm sorry, spoiler alert. Your luxuries are going to be the first things that go away. If you really need to, somebody said something about tightening their budget, you're going to have to reconsider those or a different way to do them. And so here's just a quick little piece. So our prepaid phone for emergencies, a need versus a want. I'd say for emergencies, let's say that's a need. Rent and mortgage, I'd say a need. Your groceries are a need. Let's see if they give us any hard ones. Electricity is a need. Your dream car, that's a want. The latest smartphone, that's a want. Cable TV. So the kids would fight me on this one, especially if they have their video games or anything connected. But I could say that could be a want. It could be a need, depending on your budget and what you're doing. And eating out, I'd say, is a want. So then you can submit this. And I will, in the chat, I will give everyone the link if it's not already there, so that you can go back and do this exercise for yourself or with your family. And so, yeah. And so it, tags down the same way. But you'll have to take a look at what it is that you are spending your money on. And I think, again, if you don't have a budget already created, the easiest way, everything you spend, grab a receipt for it, throw it in an envelope, and then at the end of, I'd say 2 weeks, that's probably like a cycle of most of what you spend. Sit down, categorize all of them, and then you can figure out if it's a fixed amount, like a rent, if it is a flexible amount that you can control, or if it's an occasional spend. So say a birthday, if you celebrate birthdays, or a holiday, things like that, that can fluctuate. Okay. What is breaking my budget? I know nobody really wants to know that, right? Okay. The moments of truth. Small amounts that you spend day to day, or that you're not planning for, that's what's breaking your budget. And so I'm sorry if we have coffee drinkers on here, but let's say for those folks that go out, and I have several in my office, they drink coffee, they go to Starbucks 5 days a week. All right, we don't have tolls here, so we'll save that. Fast food. Okay, everybody's eating in now, but you might be spending money more on dinner or something like that. So let's say 4 days a week. If you have not been on your budget and you're using your ATM, or you're using it, so this is one place you can save in your budget. So ATM fees can go up to, this is saying $3. So if you know the ATMs that you can use without a fee, then you can save yourself some money just right there. Just thinking about it. Okay, for us, if you happen to be with a credit union, you can use any 7-Eleven for free. And so 7-Elevens are everywhere. And so you think, okay, just by knowing that, I can grab my cash before I go somewhere, and that $3 I would have earned or would have been charged for as an ATM fee, now I don't have that. So simple charges. So we're going to say everybody knows that, and they're doing that. And let's say no cost. All right. So take a look at that. Per week, you're spending nearly $50. Per month, $191. Per year, $2,483. Ouch. And so when you have folks that come to me and say, Latrice, okay, here's the deal. I have kids. I cannot get another job. The job that I have, this is how much I make, but I've got to figure out how to save money. Here's your how to save money right here. Okay, let's look back up. So we look back up, coffee. So instead of going to Starbucks and spending $4.15 per time you go, what if you use your coffee maker at home? What if you grind your own, and you can have the same coffee. Go to Starbucks and buy you a bag of coffee. We'll give it to you. Buy your bag of coffee, grind that coffee up, make your own mug of coffee. And even if you need to buy a little mug, your own mug, if you just feel like you need that experience, buy your own mug and your own goodies that you put into it. But if that will help you to save, then you can cut that price down. So what maybe, so I usually use round numbers. So say if it was $5 a day times 5 days a week, that's $25. $25 a week times 4 is $100. So you're spending $100 a month just on coffee. We can do better than that. And you could still have your same luxury. So a bag of coffee might cost you $10. Okay. You buy that bag of coffee, and could that last you for 3 weeks? Could that last you for the month? And so instead of spending 100, you're now spending 10. And then you can take that other 90, and what if you put that into some savings for a trip that you'd like to take, or take that and use that for, you know, something that you have coming up, a bill you'd like to pay down or something like that. So just little things that you can think about. And then again, we want you to go back and test these for yourself, put your own numbers in, and that will help. And so here's another piece, drinking more water. If you're a household that drinks soda, do a quick survey for yourself. How much soda do we buy? How much does that cost across the month, across the year? $434 is what they're suggesting here. A year on alcohol alone, $850 on soda. Couldn't you do something else with $850? And so you're thinking of this. If lunch costs $6.75, you can save over $70,000 in your career. That hurts. All right. So let's move on. Where does money come from? And so knowing this is really, really helpful. Because a lot of folks will get into, and this is something you can help your kids with, especially as they are starting to get their jobs. Because you get a job and you say, okay, that job, your job's going to pay you, $10 an hour, $15 an hour. They do the quick math on it times the number of hours that they worked, and they don't realize that that's their gross income. So that is everything all together. The way I try to help them to remember it is what's caught in the net after your taxes and after your deductions. That's what you can actually spend. But I don't think people take into consideration what taxes might look like for them and what deductions might look like. And so that's the thing that you can think about is, okay, you know how much money you make per year, but what is your actual take home? And so being able to know that. And then it talks a little bit about discretionary income. Money left over after all the bills and obligations have been paid. And that's what you use to help meet some of your financial goals. And so being able to do that is great. And so here's another one that you guys might want to think about as you are trying to figure out your budget. And so you think, okay, if I'm making $40,000 a year, how much of that goes to alimony? How much to Social Security? Do I have any investment income? You can come in and kind of play around with what the numbers that are here. And then as you submit it, then it will spit the different pieces out for you. I didn't put in all the information, so that's why it's not behaving for me right now. And take a look at how your money is coming in. Do you get paid once per month? Do you get paid every other week? Are you a teacher and you only get paid for 9 months of the year, but you need to stretch your money across? And so all of these things are great things to think about when you're trying to consider your budget, because your money will be at a certain clip for a while and then something will happen. Or maybe during this pandemic, you've had to, your budget has changed because your light bill used to be, or your electricity used to be $80 and now it's $100 because everybody's at home on a device. And so those are good things to take a quick look at to go, okay, let me check in here. My money doesn't seem like it's the way that it was. What's happened? Oh, okay. We're running the air conditioning and we're on our devices and we're on our phones. Okay, it makes sense that our electricity went up. So since the electricity's gone up, we've got to juggle something else because the amount of money that we're making still stays the same. And so thinking about that. And other ideas or things to think about is your kids are home and you're thinking about, or you're purchasing food for them. And especially if you don't want to be out shopping a lot, you might be purchasing more because you want it to stretch across. Then you need to think also about having conversations with your family to say, all right, kids, and you may have already done these things, but these are all just tips, things to think about. I'm purchasing this, but you can only have 2 bags of chips per day. Or you can only have a bag of chips and a snack at snack time. Not all the time, just hanging in my refrigerator, looking in there, hanging in the pantry. And because we've got to make this stretch because we're going to the store less often because we don't want to expose anyone to the public more than we need to during this time of the pandemic. And so anyone else have some tips that you guys are using or that really has helped you as you've been home with your kids and have had to change your budget up a little bit?
Some tips that I noticed in the chat was that they're getting water filters on their refrigerator, so they're not buying bottled water. Some very special wives are making some fancy coffee for their spouses in the morning and taking it to them in their fancy cups, so they didn't have to go to 7-Eleven and buy their coffee anymore.
Very good. Yep.
But we did have one question. Will we be able to access links to these charts?
Yes. So I'm going to give you, actually, I can put it in here now. I can give you guys the link to the actual presentation. And so you can go in, you can manipulate the chart and put your own numbers in, right? So that you can compare and contrast your budget. Yep. We'll do that for you guys. No problem. Okay. So how does my budget compare? So as you are working on your budget, you'll run across things like this 50-30-20 rule. And so these are all, again, suggestions. Everybody's situation is different, but 50% is what's suggested to spend from your income on your needs, 30% on your wants, 20% on your savings and your debt. And so here is a quick little video. Let me see. Hopefully everybody will be able to hear it.
Are we supposed to hear it or no?
Yes, can you hear it?
I can't.
You can't hear it. Okay, so when you get the opportunity to go in, so basically she's walking you through, thank you for telling me that because I can hear it on my end just fine. Basically she's saying the 50-30-20 rule and talking about the actual breakdown that was there. 50 on your needs, 30 on your wants, and 20 on your savings and your debt. And so as you come here, so if we use that same $40,000 calculation, you put that in, and then it tells you. This is what's suggested in order to, if you're trying to kind of follow a formula, follow the needs of an idea. Because sometimes folks are like, when I take a look at my budget, it's wonky. I don't know what should be where. This rule, I don't think that I know for us, we don't fall in this rule. This is a rule that they use, especially when you start talking about debt to income ratio and you're looking to buy big purchases. They try to push you more towards a sample like this, because then they can take a look and see how much of your money's and where you're using it as your lender decides, do you have enough income that's liquid in order to be able to pay them back. And so as you're taking a look at these, or you put those in and then you compare it against your budget, don't be surprised if it's off, because again, it's just a suggestion. So the stars give you extra little tips. And so this one is talking about paying yourself by funding a savings account. And so I would suggest to you, if you're in a position with your budget to create a savings, I would think about separating some of your accounts. So you have one account that you can use to pay your bills. You have one account, like for me, my husband and I have allowance. I have a separate account for allowance, and I call that my mad money. So I can spend my mad money on whatever I want. And so can he. And so thinking of, okay, with the monies that we have in our shared account, then we take a look at that. And so that goes then for our actual needs. That's where our bills are paid from, our car insurance, our light bill, things like that have to be paid. We know how much those amounts are, and that goes directly into that account. And then other things that we have, like we have a Christmas club. And so we've decided the amount of money that we will spend on Christmas, already decided. And so that money automatically comes out of our paychecks and goes straight in there. And so when it's time to start shopping for Christmas, we pull that up and go, okay, what are we gonna buy? And so those are just things that you might want to think about, ways that if you separate your money, and again, this goes back to knowing yourself and knowing what's valuable to you or how you spend and how you save. To me, if I separate it and I don't see it, then when I go back to it, I'm like, oh, all right, I was thinking about that this year. And it's good because you have a little bit of a nest egg. And my husband, every year, he gets upset about the holiday money because he's like, we should have put more money in there. And so I'm like, nope, that's how much we decided. That's what we spend. And so every year we have that conversation, but I don't feel stressed about it at that time. And you have kids getting ready to go to school. Having a college saver would be good. Or even, okay, let me say something to you guys about these kids. I just have to take a quick side note. So when and this might be another presentation for another day, but when we start talking about expenses for kids for the year, you guys need to make your kids a line item in your budget and talk with them about the spending that is allowable for the monies that you have. Even if you take a look at the large events that they'll be able to participate in, and this year with the pandemic, I feel so bad for our seniors that didn't get a chance to have their prom or their graduation or different things like that that they normally would have had. But as your kids are considering their school year, you should have your kids as a line item. So if they have their cheerleading is expensive. You've got to buy, whatever, their uniforms, they're going into competitions or whatever. Or if my husband is a basketball coach. And so the parents that have those kids have things to think about, their kids being able to go, if they travel ball or different things like that. All of those things count. And so you guys really need to think about, we're going to make sure that, we've got some line items for the things that the kids want to do. So when they come up, it's not a surprise. And you guys aren't scrambling or aren't spending money that you didn't set aside to spend on those items, but thinking about it and talking it through with them. And if they need to go get a little job, or if they need to, go clean up auntie's house or whatever, go mow some lawn or whatever to help chip in for those things that they want, you guys have already talked through that. And so, and you guys know some of your kids are gamers, some of your kids like tennis shoes, some of your kids are in sports. All of those things cost. And so thinking about that and tracking your expenses is really good. And you all didn't have prom this year, your champagne party, so I'm not gonna wear you out with that one. But every year we usually have big discussions about that because everyone, and a lot of spending, you want to do better for your kids than you were able to have yourself. And I get that. But you want to think about it and plan for it and budget it appropriately, or collaborate with some other parents, like they're at the center, or parents that you guys are close to really think that through. And so just some things, little side note here, but yeah, anytime I'm talking to parents, I always have to get you guys about your kids. Okay, tracking your expenses. And so we talked a little bit about that. Whoever shared about having everything in one place. Oldie but goodie, but it works. If you're an electronic person, a spreadsheet is really good and easy to see it really quickly. And working together with whomever else, if you are partnering, or if you have a spouse, or if you're co-parenting, you want to know monies that are coming in and how you're going to use them. There are some online products, software, or an app, whatever way works for you. Try a couple of them. If you don't like it, don't do it. Do something else. Don't feel stuck. And keep trying no matter what. So the envelope method, we talked about that. So that literally is getting blank envelopes and then setting up categories for those envelopes. And so initially, early in our marriage, we used the envelope system, and it really was great. It worked really, really well. I mean, you said when you run out of money, but it works really well just to help you to get organized and to know when to stop. Because for us, we had a date envelope, we had a bills envelope, we had a holiday envelope, and then as we got paid, we brought cash in and we put everything in the envelope. And then when it was time for that particular thing, we pulled that up and we took it. I know growing up, my mom taught me how to pay bills with checks. And so being able to, then we would write out the envelope to wherever it was going, say the gas company, and inside the flap of the envelope, we'd write the amount and then come back and write the check out and put that in. And that's how I learned how to pay bills. And so you want to, as much as you feel comfortable, don't allow this to be foreign to your children. Once they hit high school, that time goes by really, really fast. And so them understanding the dollar, you know, and we come and we do sessions for the kids too. But I think you guys are the first teachers. You guys are the first line as far as really showing them how to do well and even how to avoid some mistakes. But really showing them how you do it and allowing them, especially as they get more responsible, even giving them a bill to pay or things like that might be a good exercise. All right, so I am wrapping up because we want to hear from our other wonderful women here. So here's just a couple of key points. Eliminating the things that are tearing up your budget, the small things that are adding up. How could you take a look at them in a little bit different way? Are there some things, you know, like avoiding the ATM fees, not eating out every day, making healthier choices, deciding to take lunch in. If you have a habit like smoking is very expensive. Thinking of, okay, where else, how much does that cost me through the month and through the year? And then is there something else I could be doing with those monies? Knowing your income and your expenses, living within your means, thinking about it and just making solid decisions that, okay, I'm gonna go for it. I'm gonna really focus on my needs more than my wants. And then figuring out how you're going to track it. If you like to have a calculator like the 50-30-20 rule, if you'll use a free app, if you'll set up your envelope system, any of those are great. Okay. And so here's some things to think about. Setting aside some time to actually do your budget. And again, I can't express enough. You may change your budget, you know, every month, every couple of months. That's fine. As your expenses changes, you'll have to take a look and make some shifts to it, but give yourself some grace. List all of your expenses and think about, is it a flexible expense? Is it a fixed expense? Or is it discretionary? Does it happen occasionally? And you don't want to forget things like that. Things that you celebrate, birthdays, holidays, you know, travel, things like that. You want to think about all of those and then do the math. As long as you come out and it's, you know, it's not red, you're in the red, not in the red, but stay in the black, good. And knowing how to work together as you're figuring that out. I know for us, I used to do our budget at home, but I like to do it exactly how I do it at work, on a spreadsheet and the whole nine. That did not work for my husband. He did not want to feel like he was in a meeting with me. And so he now takes care, and he does a great job of taking care of our budget, but it's a little more comfortable because that's what he likes. And so working together with your family, tracking your spending, and then that's it right there, being patient with the process. So we are going to have some question and answer at the end. But I wanted to give the other ladies a chance to jump in and share their presentations as well. But I super appreciate the opportunity to have been able to share this with you guys and look forward to hearing the great successes from the budgeting that you'll be doing from the presentation. Thank you. Okay, so then I think, Rebecca, do you have control?
I am able to share. And are we going to go with Miss Gina.
Sure, that sounds great.
Great. Let me pull it up.
So as she's pulling that up, I did see a question about spenders and savers, so I'll come back to that before we end. All right.
I just lost my notes to introduce Miss Regina Creighton. So if you'll bear with me just one moment.
They're in the chat as well.
Yeah. Miss Regina Creighton, Gina to her most recent friends and fans, is a Southern California native, nationally recognized speaker, published author, radio personality, and host of Get It Done with Gina Radio on that After Party West Radio, and America's #1 book social media correspondent. She is also the owner and creative director of Gina's Cuisine Cupcakes, an online cupcake boutique. Her sophomore book, Get It, Godly Empowered Talent, Inspiring Thousands, with exclusive release in January 2019 in Beach Island, South Carolina, exclusively released in January 2019 in Beach Island, South Carolina, at her first speaking engagement of the year. Look for her publication to be released on Amazon worldwide very soon. Regina, I will turn it over to you.
Thank you so much, Rebecca, for that introduction. Thank you. I'm excited to be here. Like Rebecca said, I have a home-based business. I have a couple actually, but today I'm going to share with you Gina's Cuisine Cupcakes, which is very near and dear to my heart. If you can see my background, I finagled and figured out how to make my photo, my cupcake photo, my background. So I was super excited about that because I'm not that tech savvy. I can try to figure it out, but it takes a minute, but I got it. My business started in 1995, actually 1 year before I was pregnant with my first daughter. And my business started out of a need for vacation. I was single at the time. I was not married. And I did not know how to budget because I should have had money for a 3-week vacation. And I did not have enough when I decided to switch from 1 week to 3 weeks. So I started my business, Gina's Cuisine Cupcakes, at the suggestion of a friend, because at the time, I did not believe that my baking and cooking ability, that anybody would pay me for that. And lo and behold, people did. We just randomly, really seriously randomly made up the business in order to help me get that revenue for the trip. It was very successful. And so I just continued doing it, but I continued Gina's Cuisine Cupcakes as a hobby. It really wasn't a business. I really didn't take it serious at the time. As time went on and I was able to start investing in myself with coaching here and there, the very first coach I had, he says, Gina, I really need to know, is this a business or is this a hobby? And I said, no, Coach David, this is a business. He said, well, you kind of treat this like a hobby, and the revenue that you're making shows me that it's a hobby because you're not making any money doing this because you're not putting the time and effort into it. That really, really made me think, and it triggered something in me. And I said, you know what? You're absolutely right. I was a full-time employee for LA Superior Court at the time, and I'd go to work, my 8-hour shift, I'd come home, and when I had orders, I'd stay up all night, but I did not mind staying up all night because I was doing something that I really loved. I was doing something that fueled my passion. I'd go back to work the next day, do whatever I needed to do at work. I'd get my sleep on lunch, and I'd come back home and I'd get in gear and bake these cupcakes again. So now I've been doing it since 95. I said that's over 25 years. 4 years ago, I was blessed enough to retire from LA Superior Court at my 50th birthday. And at that same time, I created my first book, a children's book. And this is that book. I don't know if you guys can see it because I got this thing up here, but this is my book, the first book that I created, a children's book. And then it took me that long to really seriously kick into gear, get into my business. So I just want to go over a few points with you guys and let you know that if you have a hobby, you have a passion about something, you too, just like me, you can kick it into gear, kick it up another notch. You don't have to leave your job, but you can do everything you need to do and, just get it done and go forward. So if we go to the next slide, I can share some things. So I had to make a decision. Like I said, it took me a very long time to make a decision to really put it into gear. With that decision came pitfalls. Things happened. Things came up that I wasn't expecting, but I still managed to get through it and to create my business. So we're going to talk about the decision, the pitfalls, branding, and the social effect. We can go to the next slide. Told you that I started in 1995 to extend my vacation. I knew how to bake. I baked very well. So it's what God-given talent. And I had to recognize what God gave me and I had to use it to create income. I wanted to be in business for myself, but I was working full time. But I did not mind because my job, I had to remember, was my investor. So we can't always just jump out and be on our own. We have to remember that where we are is helping us get to the next level. And that's what LA Superior Court did for me when I was working. We can move on. Pitfalls. I was the second person only in my entire family, not my household, but my entire family to start a business. One of my aunts, my Aunt Jo, she had a hair salon many years ago and she had it for years. She was the first business owner in our family and I was the second business owner. Now in my family, we have multiple business owners because we see the possibilities. We all recognize our talents and we see that we can do. Some of you may be saying, but Gina, I'm busy, I'm working, I'm a mom, I'm taking care of kids, taking care of parents. I don't think I can do this. If you don't think you can do it, you can't. If you think you can do it, you can. So we've all got a lot of things going on, especially with COVID-19 and even before that. But if you really want to get it done and you want to make it happen, start your business, start where you are, start right now today. Sometimes you won't receive a lot of support. In the beginning, I did not receive a lot of support. Through the years, did I? I still didn't. But I could not let someone else's opinion of me thinking that I couldn't do something. I couldn't let it stop me. I continued on. And now everybody's like, oh, my cousin has a business. Oh, my friend. Oh, my daughter. And so now everyone's all on board. Even if you have that support, do it anyway, because you can't let others stop what you want to do. We can move to the next one. My brand is Gina's Cuisine Cupcakes. If you notice, I'm wearing the colors that you see in this slide. If you see the colors in this slide, I created, this is my first PowerPoint presentation and my daughter was trying to help me and she's like, I'm studying for my medical test. You're gonna have to figure it out. So I tried to figure it out with some guidance from her. But if you notice throughout the presentation, you'll see the same colors that I'm wearing. The fuchsia, the pink, the fuchsia pink, the white, the black. You'll see the cupcakes in the background here. Everything I do is always related to the brand. People know me for cupcakes. They know me for other things, but they're like, oh yeah, that's Gina with the cupcakes. If you see my logo somewhere, you're like, I can't remember her name, but yeah, that's her brand. Her colors are whatever. Branding is very, very important. I am an online business. I'm not a brick and mortar. I run my business out of my home. So I have to make people recognize me. Starbucks has their logo. Gina has her logo. So I use it all the time. I use those colors all the time. What's unique about my brand and what stands out about my brand? Because I'm not a brick and mortar, I had to create something to make me stand apart. Because we're online, we deliver locally to our customers in the LA and surrounding areas, and we ship nationwide. Shipping my product nationwide made me stand out among all the other people that are baking cupcakes that I know, even the people that are doing it from home, because a business is a business and most businesses start at home. We talked about the brand colors. I chose these colors for my industry because to me, they're happy colors. They're bright. They get people's attention. They're bold. If you see the cupcake in the picture, this Neapolitan cupcake I created, it has pink in it. It makes you think just happiness. The picture is behind me, pink. It's just, it lights you up. And when people see cupcakes, when I'm delivering, even if it's not coming to them, especially if I'm going to an office building, everybody says, oh my God, cupcakes. And I'm like, they're not for you, but they made them happy because they noticed these colors. We can move to the next one. We keep it social even before social distancing. This is a photo of one of my clients, a Miss April. She's down in San Diego. She has a podcast. She ordered cupcakes from me. And because April has seen a lot of my other clients doing unboxing and doing videos, April voluntarily did a video. This is 2 different photos. She did a video of her unboxing the product and her taste testing the products. People want to get involved with the brand because they see other people doing it. So I unofficially have brand ambassadors all across the city and all across the country. And sometimes I don't even know that these people are doing these videos until somebody says, hey, I saw a video about your product, or they tag me on the video. So people want to get involved socially. That helps my brand grow. That helps people begin to know about me. And people that I do not know share my videos that I create to put out there about the brand, and they order. I just had my very first order come in today for Massachusetts. I know no one there. I'm not even friends with this name on social media. So because of social media and social distancing and live video and pre-recorded videos, the word is getting out there about Gina's Cuisine cupcakes, and I'm excited about it. Another way that I grow the brand. I'm always letting people know about the brand. Twice a week, I come on live on Facebook at 5:30 in the morning. And let me tell you something, you guys. I am not a morning girl. I will stay up all night long, but I am not a morning girl. So I have to really push myself to get up early because I have people watching me on the East Coast, the Midwest, as well as here on the West Coast. And I have to let people know what I'm doing. So I get up twice a week. People look forward to come in. The show is called Wake Up and Bake Up with Gina. I come in, I may make breakfast that morning. I may bake something up. Today, I actually did a video because Monday's my admin day. So I'm out of the kitchen and I come in and just let people know what's going on. I create, maybe a recipe. I create one of my recipes with them. I tell them different tips on baking, and people are really, really receptive to those live videos. So I have a good time. It makes me get up and be a morning girl at least twice a week. And so that's what I do to represent the band. Social media is absolutely amazing. If you're not using it for your business, you should think about using it. You should use it. It is a free platform, depending on which platform you like. And that's what I do. So I'm a social butterfly right here at home. We can move to the next one. This is my daughter, Anajay. When you are ready to start a business or you already have a business in place, when people ask you if you need their help, you do. I know a lot of times, me personally, I say, oh, no, I can do it. I can do it. I cannot wear every hat, although I really want to. I have to employ help from friends and family. This is my daughter, Anajay. She's in her 2nd year of med school. Even though Anajay is away in Chicago, she's still a part of the family business, and she always has been. She's 24 years old. Here, this picture of Anajay, this was just this weekend, actually. April got the cupcakes in the jar. This is a salted caramel. And my daughter says, oh, how come you didn't send me any? I said, oh, no problem. Yours is in the mail because you have work to do, young lady. Anajay is one of my brand ambassadors. She does an unboxing on her Instagram. She does a taste test on her Instagram. She talks about the brand, and she is the face of the brand in Chicago. But other than being that, she is my tech support. I told you guys I never did a PowerPoint before. She gave me a quick 15-minute lesson. She told me, you got to go for it, Mommy, because I've got to study for my test. But she helps out from where she is. She may send me recipes, say, Mommy, I saw this. You should try this. I know you can make this. Mommy, look at this. Look at how they're doing that. She is a very unique part of the company, as well as my son, Ernest, who's here at the center. Ernest likes to call himself the manager of Gina's Cuisine Cupcakes, although really, yeah, he likes to call himself the manager, although he's really a part of the delivery team. I take Ernest with me when we go deliver. I may be delivering a cake in a huge 12-inch box. I'll say, Ernest, you have to go with me. You have to hold this cake because I'm making turns. I've got to drive slow. People are maybe blowing or whatever. He goes with me and he delivers the product. For every delivery that Ernest goes with me on, he gets $2. So does he want to go? Not really, but he gets paid for the job. So he's like, do you have any deliveries today? Do you have any deliveries this week? Because he knows he's going to get paid. Depending on what the item is, if it's maybe cookies or something, I'll let him go to the door and actually make the delivery. A couple weeks ago, I was super busy creating something for a client in the kitchen. I said, Ernest, I need you to make some calls. I gave him a quick script, just verbally. I heard him make the calls. He was excellent. I was so surprised. And later I got 2 texts and says, your son called me. He told me he was from customer service and he did a really good job. So I was like so excited to get those calls, but I did actually hear him when he was making the call. So I was really proud of him, and he likes to be a part of the company. My husband doesn't really like to be involved with Gina's Cupcake. It's not his thing, and I'm okay with it. But if I have an event or I have a big order and I need the car packed, my husband does that. He gets everything, out of the house in the car. He packs it nice and neat, and that's his job, and I'm okay with that. So everyone here helps because, as my children say, Mommy, we know this is a business, because I always say that to them. That's kind of
Gina,
like,
Gina, I'm sorry. We've got 1 minute, okay?
Okay. Let's move on.
Was that in the cup? That's cupcake in a cup?
Cupcakes in a jar.
In a
So
jar.
people who are not local can get cupcakes in a jar. So everyone can still get the experience whether they're local or not. This is my suppliers. I use a lot of local people. I use different companies to get different things. A lot of my graphics sometimes I have created on Fiverr, but I'm so proud. I created all of these graphics myself today. So
it's 7-Eleven. It's 7-Eleven, so we got 1 minute.
Okay, the website is here. You can go to the website, www.jinascuisinecupcakes.com. Check it out, leave me a comment. Even if you don't order, just go visit the website. Let me know you were there visiting. Thank you guys so much.
Awesome. Alrighty. Thank you, Gina.
Thank you.
Is your website in the chat?
I will put it there right now.
Okay, thank you. All right, Latrice.
Miss Ketty, are you there?
I am here.
I did not see the chat. I'm so sorry.
Okay, no worries. Good.
I'm here. Can you hear me okay?
We can hear you. We cannot see you, so I don't know if your video's on, but we can hear you.
Oh, I see myself in one of the screens. I see myself moving, and in another screen, I see myself completely frozen.
Are you on a computer or iPad, or what are you on?
iPad.
Okay,
I
that
have
might be it.
technical difficulties today, and so I'm having to use my iPad. So
Okay. We can hear you. So why don't we have Rebecca go ahead and introduce you, and we'll just carry on. We apologize, everyone. Technology does its own thing sometimes.
Yes. So Miss Ketty, I have the images that you shared, and I'm going to just go through them one at a time, if that is okay with you. But before I do, I would like to introduce you with the short bio. Kathy Chiofasa, affectionately known as Ketty, is from a small southern town in Arkansas. She grew up in Los Angeles, in the Los Angeles area, and attended a local private school. Ketty holds a bachelor's degree from UC Berkeley and a master's in education from the University of Laverne. In the professional world, Ketty worked in a nonprofit administration for programs supporting children, youth, and family. She has been an educator and dance instructor for the Los Angeles Unified School District and the Community College District as well. Ketty's passion for education, health, and wellness have fueled an entrepreneurial lifestyle of freedom and flexibility. As a wife and mother of 4, their family thrives, keeping God as the head of their lives. Family wellness is a priority and intentional business success. So with that, Ms. Ketty, I'm going to share your first image.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I'm so delighted to be here with you all. So that is going to be the very last slide.
Oh, I'm
so we
sorry.
can come to that one. No, it's okay, because I knew that the way that I sent them, they didn't go in order for whatever reason.
So that was the first one in the group.
Okay.
Is this the first one?
Keep going. No.
Okay.
Thank you so much for your help. I appreciate you.
Oh, no worries.
helping
I'm
us.
sorry it wasn't so organized.
That's okay. We can start right here with this one.
Great.
So I want to welcome everyone to this portion of our Make Money Now. So we have a lot of information. You've received a lot of information regarding budgeting, phenomenal information about budgeting, phenomenal information about home-based business. And so I want to jump into how to make some money right now. I have been, well, our family has been in entrepreneurship for over 30 years. My husband is a fashion designer, and so our company name is Chio Fasa 4S. So we are faces, fashion, fitness, fun, and food. So the food part is that during there's seasons throughout the year where I do vegan catering. The faces is that I am a Mary Kay beauty consultant, and I teach people how to take care of their skin, and I'm also a makeup artist. The fashion is that we are both fashion designers. My husband is in the entertainment industry, so he works on TV and film, and then we can put together your wedding gown or your holiday outfit or your baby christening gown, whatever. That's the first that we had someone who wanted us to make their baby a christening gown, which was literally a wedding gown for an infant, which was so fun. And then the fitness part is that I am a dancer, and I teach dance classes, as well as I am a part of an entrepreneurial business that it's an online shopping club for health and wellness. So we've got tons of things going on at our house. So the first thing I want to talk about, you can go to the side hustle. That's the side hustle isn't just for people who want to quit their jobs. Gina mentioned earlier that her job with the Superior Court financed her business. So that is a perfect example that your side hustle doesn't necessarily mean that you need to quit your ongoing gig. Your career might be the insurance, just in case your 9-to-5 quits you. You know, with all that's going on right now, so many of us are working virtually. So many people are downsizing and having to lay people off. Depending on what industry you're in, you may or may not be going back to your regular job, business as usual. So this is an ideal time to pivot. So what I mean by pivot is that shift the way that you work. Shift the way that you work. Right now, even though I am a home-based business and I'm accustomed to seeing my clients face-to-face, right now, every single appointment that I do is virtual. So we're doing virtual pampering sessions, we're doing virtual fitness sessions, we're doing virtual business planning sessions. Everything is online right now. Now, that took some doing for us. It took me having to garner the skills. You can go to the next slide. Garner the skills to be able to function online. I was familiar with Zoom, but I was not a master at Zoom. I was familiar with Facebook Live, but I wasn't a master at Facebook Live. I love this slide because it says bananas or money. Now, this is some people's mindset, but this is not the mindset of everyone. And so you have to kind of know where you fit in here. If you put bananas and money in front of a monkey, the monkey's going to choose bananas because monkeys don't know that they can buy a lot of bananas with money. In reality, if you offer most people a job rather than a business, they're going to choose the JOB because most people don't understand that business can bring us more money than salaries. So profit is very often more valuable in this current day climate than the salaries, because the salaries are not promised, and the salaries can contribute to the profits that can fuel your dream. And those are not my words. I'm borrowing those words from Jack Ma. So you'll get a chance to have that too. So the pivoting that we did in our business is that everything is virtual now. So I would have to say 85% of my deliveries are virtual. I'm shipping directly to my clients. There's some packages that this is an idea of a virtual pampering package. So let's say normally I'm getting together with brides. My number one customer base is brides. So I have a contract with David's Bridals where they share with me the people who are interested in having my services from their store. And so generally I have parties of the bride and all of her attendants, the bridesmaids. But right now, those same kinds of parties are happening virtually. So that's the level of pivoting that I'm talking about. Shifting from being directly with your customers face to face versus being with them the way that we are right now. You can shift to the next slide. I want to make sure that we're clear that our jobs, our JOB is our plan A. So during this climate, we're having a plan B, a plan C, and a plan D. Get excited. So that's what this slide is talking about. So at 211 degrees, water gets hot. At 212 degrees, it boils. And with boiling water comes steam, and steam can power a locomotive. This is our life. So we're responsible for the results. And right now, in this day and time, with all of this newness that we're in, it's time to turn up the heat. It's time for us to get into action. It's time for us to make a commitment to ourselves that we are going to win. That this thing, meaning our life, our sustainability, our success, our intentional success, that is going to happen no matter what. We're going to send our kids to college no matter what. If you want your child to be in a private school, you can do that. Whatever it is that you want for yourself. We have to know that God has blessed us with the resources to do that. And so I have learned to, and I'll share those apps with you as an example. You can go to the next one. I've learned to use these different apps that are at our disposal. One of the apps that I use on a daily or on a weekly basis is a skin analyzer app. Because I work on faces primarily, I need for a person to be able to hold their phone up to their face and literally scan their face and send me the results. So that's something that I do with my skin analyzer app. They download it. It takes about 30 seconds. They hold their phone or their iPad in front of themselves. It scans their face and their picture, and it sends me the results, and it tells me how best to work with the client based on what the app says. Another app that I use is called Project Broadcast. And Project Broadcast is an app that allows me to communicate with hundreds or even thousands of people at one time with one voice message or one text or a series of what are called drip campaigns, where a person types in their keyword. Let's say their keyword is my name, Ketty. So when they type in my name, for instance, it sends them all of my information, my contact information, my website information. They're able to see my phone number right away. They can click on the phone number and call me, or they can click and get to my website, or they can click and get to my schedule where they can schedule themselves digitally into my calendar. My calendar is attached to my Google Calendar. So that's 3 different apps there. There's one app that a person can use to communicate with me. The other app sends them directly to my calendar. And then the third app allows them to book themselves at a time that is convenient for them. And then the process starts. So I just get to look at their name and their information, see what their desires are, and I can send them through the mail exactly what they need for our virtual appointment. So the piece that I really wanted to talk about, which Regina covered, she mentioned it, about everybody in her family being a part of the family business. I want to remind you that, as she said, you can't wear every single hat. As women and as business owners, and men do the same thing, but men do it differently. They compartmentalize. As women, we take off this hat, we put on the mommy hat, then we put on the grandma hat, then we put on the dancer hat, then we put on the teacher hat, then we put on the person you are for your spiritual community or what your church. We wear tons of hats. We have to remind ourselves to delegate, delegate, delegate. Say it with me, delegate. Mm-hmm. Who can I pay to do this thing for me? Or who is willing to trade with me? Because that is happening a lot right now. Our incomes are a little bit different. So sometimes we want services and or products, and the person that we want those things from, maybe we don't have the same resources. Yes, barter is back. Barter is absolutely back. Barter is absolutely back. Honestly, barter has never gone anywhere, but yes, barter is definitely back. So let's say, for instance, one of my favorite clients, she's in Atlanta. She wants her product, and she knows that we're designers. I don't need any clothes, but she's a designer as well. And she knows that she can barter something with me so that I have what I'm interested in, and she has what she wants as well. In our household, the young people they have some basic tasks, and they're on the payroll. My husband is on the payroll. I'm on the payroll. Who can you delegate? I have an assistant who puts in all of the data entry for us. We used to always say that we don't want to get caught up using our time doing penny jobs. We want to do the dollar jobs. We don't want to do the penny jobs. That's not that the penny jobs are not important. By that, I mean data entry, labeling product, writing on shipping labels, weighing things that have to be sent out, because everything is being sent out now. I want to be respectful of your time, so I'm just going through my notes to make sure that, I was going to remind you to focus on some of the apps that are free. Free is the best price going right now. So many of these apps that you see right there where it says all about great apps, many of those apps are free, but there are some that you'll have to pay for. You can always check the reviews. You can go to the next slide. You can check the different reviews when you're looking at apps to see the apps that have the highest reviews and the ones that are going to meet your needs best. This is just a slide that I wanted to share with you all, because everything is so virtual. We've got now a whole new etiquette about how to deal with one another and how to function on these different Zoom meetings and virtual meetings and different meetups where we are sometimes only seeing each other in a small screen. We now have to learn or reevaluate how we meet up. And so being aware of this etiquette is all a part of it. So I put my website in the chat room, and I'm going to put another guest website for you all to see. I am with Melaleuca and I'm with Mary Kay, both of them for over 20 years. The Shopping Wellness Club is about wholeness and natural products. Mary Kay uses tons of organics. I'm kind of a natural Nelly, although I am a makeup artist. It's kind of an oxymoron, but it's the truth. I love Melaleuca too. We started Melaleuca based on the children and their need for some holistic products, and not me having to mix them up every day, mixing up products, and I appreciate the times, thumbs up. So I want to make sure that we know that our number one thing is people. Sometimes we get confused with profit and loss, P&L. Our number one thing is people and love. Get excited. So when we keep ourselves focused on people and love rather than profit and losses, then we can focus on our budget, we can focus on our home-based business, and we can focus on how best to keep ourselves safe and healthy. Did I say, stay in action, stay in action, stay in action? This is the time we can still make money. So for some of us, that extra $500 a month or that extra $600 a month will make all the difference in maintaining our households, you know, with all of the cuts and different things. We're saving money on gas, we're saving money on lunch, we're saving money on dry cleaning because we're not moving around as much as we were. But where are we getting less hours? Are we working less hours? Have our salaries been cut based on this new dispensation that we're in?
I'm sorry, Ketty, we've got 1 minute.
I want to open it up for questions. Yes.
I'm sorry, Ketty, we've got one more minute. Thanks.
Okay. I'm really done. I didn't want to kind of backtrack, which was what's going to happen after listening to Miss Regina. And so I will enter my websites into the chat again. And if there is any questions or any information that you have regarding any of our businesses, including Mary Kay and Melaleuca, the fitness and the food and the fashion, I'm putting it all in the chat. Love, love.
You guys are awesome. I mean, wow. What can I say? Was it good, you guys? If it is, let's give a clap.
Excellent.
I mean, I really wanted to go on and on, but when I tell people the time is going to be over, I like to try to honor that. So it's 7:32 right now. But Latrice, any final closing for you?
I just want to say thank you to everyone. Thank you for your time and attention today. Thank you, Gina and Ketty, for just, oh my goodness. This was an hour and a half and it went by really, really fast. But wonderful tips from the both of you. I really enjoyed learning about them. And I just wonder, Miss Naomi, if all of the folks on the chat, if there's any way we can capture some of this and email this to us, because I know once we turn the system off, if there's something we didn't catch, I'd love for everyone to be able to.
Yeah, we have it set up where the chat will save. But I do want to say, because I know some might have questions for any of the three presenters, if you guys don't mind, if we can take another 5 minutes and do that. If you have to sign out, please feel free to do that. But I want to make sure everybody gets their questions answered. So is that okay? All right, our presenters, it's okay? Okay, so we're gonna open up the floor. If you have any questions or comments right now, including comments, and I'll start to just say I learned a lot myself, and I need to put some fire, put some fire under it for some things I've had on hold, you know, being just busy with work. But You guys were definitely an inspiration for me. I need to find time how to do the work and to work on those things. Otherwise, they never get done, right? So, thank you for that. So anybody else, any comments or questions?
I just wanted to comment to Ketty that I am so impressed that you and your husband can work together, because we can't work together over here like that all the time. My husband just does his little part, but that's really, really impressive. So I'm gonna get this replayed.
And we don't work together every single day.
Get the replay and play that part real loud over here.
I love that. Excellent. I had a couple of things I just wanted to comment on. Regina, your online business, it is really fantastic to see the work that you're doing. And then even I appreciated your segment about having something that differentiates you from everyone else.
Yeah.
And then the guerrilla marketing that you're able to do. And someone mentioned it in the chat as well, I think is really fantastic. I'd like to get, and I know it'll be sent our way, the website for the Wake Up and Bake Up.
Okay.
So that we can join and support you there. That's wonderful.
Okay.
And then for Miss Ketty, thank you for the reminder on the side hustle, because I do think some companies definitely are leaving us, but I think those were good. So I'm taking away from yours is turn up the heat and get into action.
Absolutely.
So, yes, thank you. We appreciate that. And peace and love versus profit and loss. Great tips. Thank you.
A lot of rich stuff.
Yeah.
Any other comments or questions? Anyone?
Well, I really appreciate all of this. This was wonderful. I had no idea that I would be taking as many notes as I was from the other presenters. I really appreciate it, and I look forward to seeing the information where we can go ahead and click on to our budgeting tips, and of course, I'm gonna check out Gina's Cuisine and Cupcakes.
Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thank you so much. That was awesome.
So Rebecca, can you package it and email it to everyone tomorrow? Okay, so make sure your email address is in the chat window. And we will get all of the presentation materials, all of the images, and also all the contact information from the presenters that was shared in the chat window. So presenters, we have everything needed in the chat window.
I'm putting my email in right now. If anybody needs that.
Okay.
This is my Wooten email. I'm gonna actually put two in case anybody has like any questions for Gina's Cuisine Cupcake.
Okay. So whatever you guys put in there, we will definitely share. So I want to thank Rebecca Dabbs. Rebecca is actually with us, intern from USC. She's working on her master's in public health. Give it up for Miss Rebecca.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you.
She helped put this and future sessions together. Miss Gina, Miss Ketty, you guys are awesome. And now I already felt that way, and now even more so. So, you know, I'm just so glad to have you guys here, and just thanks for spending your time coming here. Nobody's, we're not paying anybody, you know, for coming here tonight. So I thank you guys. Miss Latrice, I can't say enough about you. Latrice has a heart of gold. She's been consistent all the years I've known her. She's been, and there's Miss Christelle.
Miss Christelle.
But Miss, so I'll just to let you guys know, you can't find anybody better, you know, in banking. If you need a bank, you need banking services, Miss Latrice and the other folks over at Kinecta, they've been supporting the center for years. So I like referring people that have been supporting us, and they've been supporting us financially, in-kind services, just a number of things, and we're very grateful for that. So lastly, I just want to make sure everybody knows about the next session. The RSVP window is up, so I'm just going to share the flyer just real quick. So this was a very, very important session, so we wanted to start with this, but our next session, also dealing with economics, finding a job during the pandemic. So the Brotherhood Crusade will be with us, and they have job information. They have a list that they're going to be sharing on different job sources, also through them. So we're actually getting ready to hire some kids through them. So they've got great resources. So if you know anybody that's looking for a job, definitely have them tell them to log in. And you're going to go to wootencenter.org/events, and you can RSVP. All of these events are up. You can RSVP in advance. So if there's no more questions or comments, any more questions or comments, anyone? If not,
I'll just say, woohoo! Everybody was wonderful.
Ms. Christelle, how was today? I know you were working on summer camp. How was summer camp today, Miss Christelle?
It was great. It was a great day one. Great day one for sure. And I'm sorry because I'm on another Zoom meeting. I told Miss Naomi, I was like, so I wanted just to still have them.
All right. So Miss Christelle, she's in charge of our daily operations. So if you need summer camp info, give her a call. So
you all ladies for sharing.
Good. I'm looking forward to hearing more. Any more last time, questions or comments? All right. Thank you, everybody. Have a good night and try to process all this information. I got a lot to think about. Thank you,
Latrice. Everyone. Nice to meet you all.
All right. Have a good night, everybody.
A great night.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.